Hello everyone, this is take two, because somewhere along the line my camera decided it was just going to turn itself off. Do not ask me why, I've got no idea. I might not have pressed the right button at the right time. So we'll just see what happens. It's got new batteries in it, so it shouldn't be running out. As I was saying, before I got rudely disconnected, I am using Express It adhesive sheets to stick some of the bigger things in line today. It's a lot easier than using small sheets of double-sided roll, and I'm also using some of the Couture Creations, and that comes in a really big roll. Absolutely wonderful stuff. What I started to say before I was rudely interrupted was I'm tired of making things and not doing anything with them. I make little notepads. What do I do with them? Put them in a pile, put them in a bag, put them in a box, use up some of the stash I've got. But then I'm left with scraps. So I decided it's time to make use of some of my scraps. This is an envelope. You can just see the postage paid symbol in the corner there. And I've cut it off and I'm going to line it onto another piece of scrap. This is basil stock. It's textured paper. It's absolutely beautiful and I didn't want to throw it away. So, knowing me, I've got to find something to do with it. So that's going to go in there. I've then got another little piece of the scrap. It was what was left over from a piece of 6x6 paper, and I had used 3/4 of it, so I had this little piece left over. So I'm going to put that there. And you've all seen this little quilling piece in recent weeks. I'm not going to hoard it. I'm going to use it and stick it on there. At the end of this month, I am thinking of doing a little giveaway and giving away some of the stash of things that I've made and I've put in boxes and I haven't used. Share the love. Share it around. So stay tuned. Keep coming back because you're never sure what video it's going to be. I might not even put giveaway in the title, so you're going to have to watch from start to finish to find out what I'm up to. These pieces of paper were offcuts from a larger book that I'd made, a larger journal. There's quite a few of them and they're vintage. Some of them have still got the discoloration on there from the age. And there's nothing wrong with that paper, but it is just laying around. Too big a piece of scrap to throw out. All of that. Come on. You can't throw it out. You just can't. So I'm going to be making a little notepad out of it that you can pop into your purse, have alongside your computer desk, anything like that, and just use it. I've already edged, and this is a strange color combination, I know, but I've used peeled paint to edge around. Oh, and I didn't edge that bit. I did not edge the quilling, so let's do that now. Director paper always works well for me. It gives you just the finest little border. You don't need a lot, just enough to camouflage the white cutting. See how white that is? We'll just camouflage that and turn it green. I love the director paper. You can do all sorts of things with director paper. You can have a little bit of colour, you can have a lot of colour, you can bring it all the way into your work or not. I prefer not this time round because I don't want to get ink all over my crewed pieces. Okay, so now to get into the nitty-gritties. I'm just throwing stuff around here. Ruth, get organised a little bit, please. That goes there and there. Okay, now I think I'm organised. Just don't quote me on that because you never know, I might be telling fibs. Okay, now the fun part, to get the backing off. Oh, look at that. Aren't I clever? Almost. Almost clever. Alright. Now, folding it in halves, because that being the easiest way for me to do it, into that section, down onto that one, and then roll it up onto the other piece. And ta-da! It's done! Love double-sided sticky paper. It's awesome. Okay, now before I put the decorations on, I think I will sew in the signature so that I'm not having to fumble around and possibly mess up my quilling. So using an big office clip, not really a big one, it's not giant, but it's big enough. What do they call these? Clamps? Bulldog clips? Either and or. And a pokey tool, and I'm only going to I'll do the 3. Poking all the way through until it gets to that size hole. I'm not measuring, as you can see, I'm using my eyeballs. And one more for the middle. Yeah, that's close enough. Okay, thank you, pokey tool. Now I'm going to start from the outside this time. I normally start from the inside, but I don't want that to be too bulky. So we'll go into the center, go to one side and pull it through, making sure both threads are evenly pulled up through the third, or into the third I should say, up to, into, whatever. And once that's okay. That's all good. And now we come back through the middle one, and if we can, come up the opposite side to where the knot is, because we're going to tie that off in a surgeon's knot. Now a surgeon's knot is one step further on than the old Boy Scout reef knots. Left over right and pull through, then right over left, and then to really cinch it tight, you put it over the left one more time before you tighten the knot. So it's left over right and right over left over left. Oh, where is it? It's not coming through for me. It's there. There it is. Hello, you. And then pull tight. Okay, now we can make a little bow out of these leftover bits, I hope. This looks really awkward. Okay, that's fine. We don't need such a big bow. We only need a little one. Where's my tweezers? They're here somewhere on this messy table. There you is. Like that grammar, there you is. Sorry, Denise. Okay. Give a little bit of extra pull. And now we can cut some of this excess off. And that, my lovely friends, is how you make a little notepad. Now I'm just going to hold that there so that it stays down in place while I'm putting this lot on. Okay, off with the tape again. The backing paper. Make sure you've got it where you need it before you push it down, because this is unforgiving stuff. I've gone a little bit crooked here, but I'm sure that it's not going to stop the operation of the notepad. Okay, so that's one piece down. Now this little notepad is 3 inches by 4. So it'll go into your handbag quite nicely. If I can get the backer off this, it'd be wonderful. Okay, my little friend, there we go. Bend it back a little bit so that I can grab it with the fingers. Here's where you have to be a little bit careful if you're using something like quilling, that you don't put any weight on your shapes, because you may squash them. So once again, tweezers come in really handy, especially if they've got that beautiful flat piece there that can get in underneath or around your shapes, so that you can push the paper in or onto the other piece without destroying your quilling or your 3D decoration. Whatever you're putting onto these is entirely up to you. But there you go, my lovely friends, something different. Not different, my take on something different. And it's a blank little notebook. No lines in this one. And I'm not even going to do any stamping or anything like that on it, because I think it stands up on its own. So thank you very much for watching that part. I'll now attempt to put it in the bag. And it's not going to fit in that bag. It's too wide. Okay, I'll find a bag for that later. There I go again, finding a bag for something. Oh my goodness, Ruth, what are you doing? That will go into my little box of bits and pieces to give away. I might have... No, I can't reach. Oh. Okie doke. Throw that away and throw the other backing sheet away, because it's only going to cause more mess than I need. I have my needle, which I need to put away. Because if I don't put things away, this table is just going to become... Well, it's already overrun, but I don't need it to be any more overrun than it is. These little travel packs of Huggies were a treat for my daughters when they had their children, and I purloined a couple of them, and they are just wonderful little carriers for all sorts of little knickknacks. This is my general purpose one. It has 2 pokey tools in it, a 0.2 pen, I think that's a 0.4 pen, my needles, an old card that I can use to splash paint around with, a water brush, ruler, a little office clip, the little bulldog type clip, all sorts of bits and pieces, even a silicone buddy. You can put that on your finger when you're doing your silicone glue so that you don't get burned when you're tapping it down. Wonderful. I had to cut this piece off though. It was about this long. My fingers, well, I know I've got big fingers, but you know, gee whiz. So, thread, needles, the whole kit and caboodle goes in there. It's absolutely wonderful. Now, the other day I was playing around after having watched Amy Johnson, who we all know as Aljon. She makes her own foam stamps, and I think they're absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So I had a little shot at it, and I thought I would just play with you today and do a little bit of stamping in a glue book that I've got, a smash book type thing. But I have not yet, as yet, glued them on. All I've done is get some kids' foam, you know, the fun foam that you get for kids to play with, or yourself, if you're a crafter, come on, you can play with it too. Use a stylus or two, and, you know, a thimble. You've got a thimble? That'll do your circles for you, no problems. And the other side of it will give you a nice little pattern in there too. Let's just try that on the corner of the eye. It might not come out because it might not be deep enough, but you never know your luck in a big city. You can see what happens when you indent something into foam. it leaves an impression. So what I've done is use the stylus, and I started off doing the squares. So I've got this little abstract one. I've cut a piece of paper for the back so that I'm not going to get ink all over my fingers when I'm using it. And I used a spoon to do the half pieces here. And then I just used my stylus, my little skinny one, and I made lines all over the place. And this one I just turned into an abstract shape. This one is also abstract, but it's a little bit different, a lot different. And then I did the circles, and I used the top of one of my, what are they called? I've got a bottle over here. Sanitizer. I've got a small bottle of sanitizer that has a little plastic lift off. So I used that to shape my circles and then went round. It's a bit rough, but I don't care. I had a little piece left over, I had two little pieces left over. So I did a tree with falling leaves all over it. The next one I made an eye, and the other one I made waves. So let's get into doing some business here of sticking them down and seeing how we go using them to stamp with. I've got my beautiful cloth tape here that I'm going to follow Amy's hint and make handles for the back, which really does keep your fingers out of the ink. And it stops you also leaving another impression in your stamp, which I've just done with my fingernail. See that? It's not going to show on the other side, so it'll be all good. Okay, that is the tree. I had a pen here. I did, honest. I did, yes. Of course I did. Yeah. Okay, now this tree, no, that's waves. Now I'm doing that so that when I go to use it, if I've got them in my box this way, I'm going to know what I'm going to be picking up. Not me making that funny noise, that is the tape, I assure you. This stuff is awful to cut. I don't mind tearing it sometimes, but sorry, every now and then I like to look efficient. Now I folded the tape in halves, and I'm going to put, hang on, how do I do this? I've forgotten. That's right, fold it in halves that way, but don't close it down all the way. That's right. I knew I'd get it eventually. Okay, so not sealing that piece off until I've got it on there. That's the little handle. I can pick it up without any problems at all. And when it's being stored, it just sits down flat. And I've written over the word, I've covered up the word waves, but I can do that again. That's no problem. Okay, let's do one of the bigger ones. I won't do all of these with you because I don't want to take up too much of your precious time, but you will see these being used. I do have some background stamps, the acrylic ones and the wood-mounted ones, but I just love the way Amy does things, and if you really want a good tutorial on how to do these, please go and check out her channel. It's Aljon, Aljon. She is absolutely wonderful. Yeah, that's fairly good on there. Now to put my handle. Off. a little bit and fold it back so it doesn't stick to each other. It doesn't stick to itself, sorry, not each other, but itself. And I just did it because I wasn't good enough that time, was I? No, I wasn't good enough. So let's do it again. Do it that way, that's better. Stick your thumb in the way, Ruth. Work it. Okay, it doesn't matter if your handles are crooked. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that you've got a handle on there, and the cardboard is only from a box. I chopped off one of the sides, and I've kept one piece of it. The rest is in my recycle. Okay, so let's move these out of the way. And I have got a book. Now this is a book I bought, and I bought 3 of them thinking that the beautiful covers were ever so well done. And I opened up one, and it was a lined notebook. And I thought how absolutely wonderful. There were 3 on the shelf, so I bought all 3. 2 of them were writable in. This one was left as a novel. I was so disappointed because I was looking forward to journaling in it. I've given the other 2 away, but this one is still the same as is. But I have started to alter it. I've left those pages, I'm not sure why. But tissue, more tissue, napkin, stamp, a little bit of lace doily on top of a paper doily, and then a little graphic on there. I'm turning this into a smashbook type journal. I haven't done any journaling in it yet. I'm just showing you a quick flip through. There's a little pocket there. I can write on some of that if I want to, or I can put a little photograph on it. This came off a food thing, so I thought, right, I'm going to stick that on there too. I can do something around here. It might be a nice idea if I put some stamps on there. What do you think? Get out my distress ink. And let's give these a try. See how well I've done. I might have done quite abysmally, but we can try. So give it a really good ink. It's not liking it for some reason. That's better. Do not ask me what went wrong. Probably the first time it's had ink on it, so it just was not going to play my way until I convinced it had to have ink, otherwise you're not going to work. Okay, let's pop one of those down here. Now, like most stamping, you've got to give it a chance for the ink to transfer from your stamp onto your work page. So don't be, lightning flash or whoever he is, that guy that can move really, really fast. Don't do that. Give yourself a little bit of time. Be like the turtle. Be slow and win. Not like the hare and have a sleep and mess up. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's gorgeous. I like that. That's a success. That's that abstract. I'll call it abstract 1. Oh, I do like that. Okay, let's have a look at the waves. Once again, we're being the turtle. Doing things slowly, turning over to make sure we're getting ink all over it. Okay, I might have enough ink on there now. So I can put this one up here, I think. Do waves sideways. And I had better put the top back on that, otherwise it's going to dry out. And you won't have a happy Ruth if I do that to myself. Oh, I like that too. That's ever so pretty. Okay, what I'm going to do is wipe them down with a baby wipe. new packet would be, so I'm stiff to open up. Now, why is it that every time you pull out one, you manage to get 24 others come up with you? It's frustrating me. I do not know how to avoid that. If someone has a really good tip, please let me know. Look at that, so lovely and clean. So not are they only easy to make, they're easy to maintain and keep clean. As long as you clean them off as soon as you use them. If you don't, you're going to end up with, a mess. Okay, I like that. I really do like that. That's wonderful. Okay, let's use another color. Using the same two stamps, I'll use this one. Okay. Yeah, that feels pretty dry. Oh, because it's red foam, I can't really see the red ink. Yay! Pick it up, have a look, turn it around, and have another tramp at it. Tramp? Stamp, Bruce, stamp. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's good enough. And I think I'll put that down here. Oh, I can see me having mountains of fun with these little stamps. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? Oh, I am so impressed. Oh, I'm clever. Amy's clever for showing us. I would never have thought to do this. Years ago, when my grandchildren were little, I wanted tiny handprints and foot stamps. I couldn't find anywhere, but I did find some foam shapes in a cheapie store, and I glued them onto a big cork. And that I've still got those somewhere. I don't think I've thrown them out anywhere. I wouldn't have a clue where they are because all my grandies are now in their teens. Or almost in their teens, so, it's all good. Now, this one is not going to go in completely, I'm not going to try and do that, that's really glossy stuff. I'm not going to try and stamp on that. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Wonderful. So, if you are really wanting some abstract stamps and can't afford to buy the professionally done stamps, make your own. If you watch more than just one of Amy's videos, she will show you she's made wonky houses, which I did too, and she's done shapes and all sorts of weird and wonderful things. It is just amazing where her mind will take her. But please, give these a try. They are awesome. Absolutely awesome. And I will thank you once again for coming to watch my videos, listen to me waffle on and ramble. I do so appreciate you very, very much. I would love for you to leave a comment, please. I read all the comments.